This is Michael Popok with some breaking news coming out of Wisconsin. The Attorney General there, Josh Kaul, following on the heels of Chris Mays, the Attorney General of Arizona, has indicted 2 former Trump attorneys and 1 former Trump aide, head of his election day coordination campaign. We have the indictment of Ken Chesebro, James Troupis, those are the lawyers, and Mike Roman, again, has been indicted. Many of these men, all of these men, have been indicted in other states as well, or are the subject of criminal prosecution. I'm going to walk you through it now. Their arraignment is going to be in September. They've each been charged, according to the Wisconsin Attorney General's office, they've each been charged with 1 count of forgery, which goes right to the heart of the fake elector scheme that was devised by Ken Chesebro, along with Jim Troupis. Those 2 gentlemen attended a meeting, as we know, in the White House with Donald Trump, which was arranged by Reince Priebus, who at the time, also from Wisconsin, was the chief of staff and got the meeting with them, in which this whole fake elector plot and Jan 6th was hatched, along with Donald Trump. Mike Roman, let's start with him. Mike Roman was the head of Donald Trump's election day ground game. And he was responsible, he was the mule for the fake elector certificates, making sure that in the 7 battleground states, including here Wisconsin and Arizona and Michigan and Nevada and others, that these fake electors met in secret, that they signed their name. Here's the receipts. They signed their name to the conspiracy, creating themselves as fake electors, and then made sure that those fake elector certificates, or copies of the fake elector certificates in some cases, were somehow wound their way through into Washington, D.C. to get into the hands of Mike Pence in order to try to stop the peaceful transfer of power by having Mike Pence, as part of that plot, recognize the fake electors, throw his hands up, refuse to count and certify, and turn it over to the state delegations, which would have turned the election over to Donald Trump and away from Joe Biden. That was the plan. Ken Chesebro, an election lawyer. Mike Roman, election day coordinator, mule for all of these fake elector certificates and coordinating it. Mike Roman, you may recall, has been indicted in Georgia. He's the one who brought the initial motion to disqualify that was unsuccessful against Fani Willis. And there's not been a trial setting there yet. All of his other attempts to dismiss the case against him have failed, and he will go to trial in Georgia as well. Mike Roman, also one of 18 indicted in Arizona by the Attorney General there. We said, when Ben Meiselas and I did our hot take a month ago, and we said that the first but not the last Attorney General, and the one that would be used as the template, was Chris Mays breaking that glass ceiling and bringing the charges against not only the fake electors in Arizona, but against Rudy Giuliani and Christina Bobb and Chesebro, Troupis, Roman, and the rest. The only one that wasn't indicted and is an unindicted co-conspirator was Donald J. Trump, for obvious reasons. She didn't want to throw a monkey wrench into her case that was so strong against these others by injecting Donald Trump into the mix at that particular moment. Now, Josh Kaul, the Attorney General for Wisconsin, has taken a little bit of flack. There was a lot of action around the fake electors when a civil lawsuit over a year ago was filed in Wisconsin, not by the Attorney General, but by voter rights groups and other civil liberties groups against the fake electors and against Troupis and Chesebro. And they settled that case. Troupis and Chesebro and the fake electors promised under oath that they would never try to interfere with the peaceful transfer of power again. They'd never be involved with any kind of electors or fake electors ever again. What if you could support small family farmers and reduce your environmental imprint, all while enjoying the highest quality meat on earth? When you join the Monk movement, you can. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did. And as a result, Moink meat tastes like it should, because the family farm does it better, and the Moink difference is a difference you can taste. Unlike the supermarket, Moink gives you total control over the quality and source of your food. You choose the meat delivered in every box, like ribeyes, to chicken breasts, to pork chops, to salmon fillets, and much more. Plus, you can cancel anytime. Moink is helping save rural America. I love it, and you will too. Join the Moink movement today. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted. And Ring Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff, he jumped at the chance to invest in Moink. Plus, they guarantee you'll say, oink, oink. I'm just so happy I got moinked. I know I do, and you will too. Keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/legalaf right now, and listeners of this show get free bacon for a year. That's 1 year of the best bacon you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. Spelled MOINK box.com/legalaf. That's moinkbox.com/legalaf. Now, a lot of people thought, well, maybe that took the pressure off of Josh Kaul, the Attorney General, who didn't seem to be doing much in terms of his own independent investigation. And was really laying back, letting the feds do their thing. But once the federal indictment came out by the special prosecutor, special counsel, it was clear that even though Wisconsin was mentioned, just as it was mentioned in the Georgia indictment, that the feds were not going to go after the fake electors in Wisconsin. So there was this civil suit, settlement, payment of some dollars, and these representations by these at least two of the three, Chesebro and Troupis. But there was no prosecution. Now that's been fixed. We've got the indictment. We've got the arraignment. There's going to be a press conference. We'll report on it live here on the MeidasTouch Network, likely later today. But I wanted to bring you this kind of fast-moving story and this news right now. Now, Jim Troupis, just to bring it together, was one of the lawyers working with Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani and Christina Bobb and Ken Chesebro to litigate falsely, as it turns out, in all the battleground states and 50 other places to try to stop the peaceful transfer of power. He was one of the arms of the fake elector scheme and also helped execute on the fake elector scheme. And again, he has a meeting, a very pivotal, historic meeting now, for all the wrong reasons, in the White House with Donald Trump, right? Before Jan 6th, it's Troupis, Chesebro, and Donald Trump, a meeting arranged, as I said before, by Rance Priebus from Wisconsin also, who got these guys in the room. And that's where Chesebro tells Donald Trump, Jan 6th is your final day, and talks about the elector schemes and the potentiality of the lawsuits. That's why Troupis has now been indicted related to the fake elector scheme. One count, forgery. It's a felony in Wisconsin. Arraignment is going to be in September. And I'm sure with the pressure that's on the Attorney General in Wisconsin, that there's going to be more indictments to come. For instance, what about the other 10 fake electors in Wisconsin? Why have they not been prosecuted? It had looked for a long time. The Attorney General was letting the civil lawsuits do their job, but now those are over. Time to go after the fake electors, just as the Arizona Attorney General has done in her charging 18 people, including many of these same three in her case. We'll continue to follow how the Attorney Generals around the country are responding to Jan 6th and the fake electors to protect the integrity of their election process state by state right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. We bring it to you on a podcast we call Legal AF. We call it for a reason. It's on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we do live versions of anything that's happening and breaking at the intersection of law and politics. And we do it right here. The attorney generals should not be forgotten. They're an important part of our criminal justice system. They have different powers, of course, depending upon what their state legislatures have given them in terms of powers, what their constitutions have given them in terms of powers. Some of them have a lot of criminal powers and can indict when things like election law is at risk, or election process integrity is being undermined. Other attorney generals, like the one in New York, Letitia James, by her constitution, frankly, can only really focus on civil enforcement matters. Could be substantial, like the $465 million civil fraud judgment against Donald Trump. they can regulate civilly and for major disgorgement and fines and penalties and damages, but she has very limited criminal prosecution powers. That's really given to the local district attorneys in a state like New York. But anyway, a little bit of a teachable moment here about how the attorney general process works in the United States, state by state. We'll bring it all to you until my next hot take, like this one, until my next Legal AF. This is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.